In this video, I'm going to contemplate dropping a product line. We're a company that produces 3 different types of ceiling fans, 36-inch, 44-inch, and 54 inches. And right now, according to our analysis, the 44-inch and 54-inch are profitable, but our 36-inch is showing a loss of $5,830. So we're contemplating whether or not we're going to drop that. The problem with our current analysis is we might be considering costs that don't change, that actually would just get reallocated to our 44-inch and 54-inch. So we want to make sure we do a correct differential analysis. Before I do that, I'm just going to total up for the company as a whole. For example, total revenues of $357,000, $557,600, and $335,400 will bring our total revenues up to $1,250,000. In totaling up our variable costs, it'd be $656,780 minus our revenues of $1,250,000 brings our contribution margin currently to $593,220. Subtract out our fixed cost total of $487,500. It brings our operating profit down as status quo, not dropping anything, to $105,720. Now, what would happen if we do drop the 36-inch? Well, we're going to lose some revenue. We started with $1,250,000, and that revenue of $350,000 would go away for the 36-inch and bring down our revenue to $893,000. But also keep in mind the definition of variable cost is they stay the same per unit, but go up and down in total. We would lose variable costs for direct material, direct labor, and variable overhead combined. So we're going to start with our variable cost for the company as a whole of $656,780 minus the identified variable cost for the 36-inch of $223,600. That brings our variable cost down to $433,180. Subtract that from the revenue of $893,000, and that brings our contribution margin down to $459,820 if we get rid of the 36-inch line. Now we also have to consider fixed costs, and our definition for fixed costs is they typically stay the same per total even if the activity level changes. Here, it's not just that we're changing the quantity, we're also changing the composition of the types of products that we're producing. So there could be some fixed costs that we just don't need anymore. Maybe there's a special type of equipment that we rent just for the 36-inch that we don't need anymore. Maybe there's a salary that we pay for a supervisor that we don't need because we've gotten rid of that product line. So we do want to contemplate whether there's anything outside of the activity level that would change our fixed cost. If we read through the scenario, it says the company's total fixed cost would be reduced by 25%. So we're going to start with our total $487,500, and you can do this calculation 2 ways. You could subtract 25% from that, or instead I said 1 minus 0.25, 0.75, or 75%. 75% would remain. So 75% times 487,500 means our fixed cost would actually drop to $365,625. Subtracting that from our contribution margin of $459,820 means our operating profit would drop down to $94,195. If we looked at all the differences, revenue went down by $357,000, but also variable costs went down by $223,600. Overall, the combination of those two, our contribution margin went down by $133,400. We have to counter that with, it's not good to lose contribution margin, but if fixed costs higher than that disappeared, we would still want to drop the product line. The problem is only our fixed costs were only reduced by $121,875. That's all we save in fixed costs. That's less than the contribution margin we left. So again, our operating profit is going to shrink by $11,525. So you have to make sure you understand the perspective. We're saying profit would go down by $11,525 if we drop the 36-inch fan. So we would not want to drop the product line. We want to keep it. It is currently adding profit to the company.